We're down in verse 4 of Jeremiah chapter 15. And, this is utter rejection, judgment of the Jews. And so here's, more judgment. Boy, you want judgment, just read Jeremiah and you'll get judgment. And you want to make excuses for your little sins or your medium sins or your, however you want to grade your sins. Well, you can do that, but it won't do you any good, because God is judging Israel for just that sort of stuff. So anyway, verse 4, let's see, we had the four kinds: sword to slay, dogs to tear, fowls of the heaven, beasts of the earth to devour and destroy, in verse 3. And I will cause them, in verse 4, to be removed into all kingdoms of the earth. God is talking about Jerusalem and Judah. Because of, you want to know whose fault it is? Because of Manasseh, the son of Hezekiah, king of Judah. Now Hezekiah, actually, if you kind of go through the books of the Kings and Chronicles, you'll find that from Rehoboam and Jeroboam, when they split, when the kingdom split, from then on, pretty much every single, practically every single king along the way did evil in the sight of the Lord, except for a couple. There was a couple. Hezekiah was one of them. Okay, and so Hezekiah, the Assyrians, this is before Nebuchadnezzar came in and the Babylonians came into view, but the Assyrians were building their empire, and Sennacherib, the king of the Assyrians, and he was out, conquering stuff. Okay, so when Hezekiah became king, he was one of the few kings that did that which was right in the sight of the Lord, and he fortified, the city, rebuilt the walls. He did Josiah did the same thing several years later, but Hezekiah, kind of reconstructed. The temple had been neglected. Okay, so it needed, it needed it needed a remodel. Okay, it needed a flip job. The flippers that buy an old house someplace, and that's probably who will get to buy the house. When I croak and the girls sell the house, they'll probably sell it to some flipper who will come in and redo the place. Remodel it, make it up to date. Huh?
You said you'll be 125?
Yeah, 125. No, 120. No, 100. I gotta beat my great grandfather 100 years old. So I've got 25 more years. Anyway. Yeah. Well. But anyway, so the temple needed to be flipped. Okay, and Hezekiah did that. And remember, Hezekiah also, strategic move. He dug this tunnel, a 600-yard tunnel, and to get water into the city. Yep, and it's still there. And it's one of those engineering marvels. Okay. Oh, those ancient people, they didn't know how to do stuff. Well, they did it. They did it.
They did it without cranes and forklifts.
Exactly. And without and computers, and they did it without dynamite and just guys in there hand chiseling the rock.
If you ever read about that, that's very
Yeah. So anyway, so Hezekiah, did all that stuff, okay? But then, let's see, Hezekiah got taken captive by Sennacherib, and he died, and his son Manasseh took over. And Manasseh, if you, like I said, you read through Kings and Chronicles about Manasseh, he was a nice guy. Where Hezekiah destroyed the groves and the idol worshiping places, well, Manasseh built them back up. He was complete opposite of his dad. Manasseh even sacrificed his own sons. Human sacrifice. And I've got this neat little book. Who's Who in the Bible? I can't remember. I got it. I've had this for quite a while. Read up on Manasseh here, and Manasseh was only 12. We're reading part of this book when his father Hezekiah died and left him the throne of Judah. Unlike his father's godly reign, Manasseh's was replete with evil practices that ultimately led to the kingdom's collapse and its Babylonian captivity. Okay? He practiced witchcraft, erected altars to false gods, and most detestable were fiery sacrifices Manasseh made of his sons. Nice guy. And his leadership was so evil that the sins of Judah were worse, okay, than those of the heathen nations, around him. That's how bad Manasseh was. So here, if you want to know who to blame, okay, because of Manasseh, the son of Hezekiah, king of Judah, for that which he did in Jerusalem. Okay? And so all of the stuff he did, he's pretty much God got sick and tired, and his patience ran out. That's why we're going through, this time, the captivity here, and Jeremiah's preaching here. For who shall have pity upon thee, O Jerusalem? Nobody's going to be sorry for you. Nobody's going to be, who shall bemoan thee? Who's going to moan and cry? Who's going to cry? Who's going to mourn over your destruction? Or who shall go aside to ask how thou doest? We come in, one thing out here, we come in and how you doing? Hey, how you doing? All that, and kind of, like that, and we can, well, sometimes we, we lie a little bit, say, oh yeah, I'm okay, I'm doing fine, but my back hurts, and my personal trainer at the fitness place working me so hard that, or
When somebody tells me they're doing fine, I ask them, what'd you find?
there we go. Yeah. But anyway, who's going to do that for Jerusalem? Who's going to go aside to ask how thou doest? Well, if you go to the false prophets and the false priests at the time of Jeremiah, okay, if you go to them, they'll say, yeah, they're going to lie through their teeth. Oh yeah, we're doing fine, we're okay. We've got to, we can remember what King Manasseh did. He rebuilt the walls, or King Hezekiah did, rebuilt the walls and all that sort of stuff. We're fine. Just wait, guys. So nobody's going to go aside to ask how you're doing. thou hast forsaken me. You, Jerusalem, have forsaken, and Judah, have forsaken me. You've left me behind. You don't care, saith the Lord. Thou art gone backward, backslidden. Therefore will I stretch out my hand against thee. Now, in the Bible, there are a couple of times, God uses this phrase, stretching out his hand. Sometimes in the Bible, it's mentioned God, stretches out his hand to help the people. Okay, it's a figurative thing. He's stretching out his hand to help them, but therefore now this time I'm going to stretch out my hand against thee. This could, well, you could almost say, stretching out the hand, would be in a peaceful way to help the people, but in this way, stretching out you could almost picture stretching out his hand as a fist, ready to clobber you. Okay. Therefore will I stretch out my hand against thee and destroy thee. I mean, literally, when Nebuchadnezzar moves in, he attacks Jerusalem twice. The first time he takes a bunch of captives, but he doesn't take the city. But the second time, he moves in, destroys everything, levels the walls, levels the temple, steals all of the stuff out of the, all of the gold and stuff, implements and stuff like that out of the temple, and his, grandson Belshazzar. Yeah, is that the right one? Yeah, get the right one. Belshazzar. He's the one that decides to drag in the bring me those cups from the temple, and we'll have a party, and we'll drink out of those cups. And that same night, the Chaldeans move in, the Persians move in, the Medes and the Persians move in, and Jerusalem is taken in one night. They go underneath the walls. Yeah, and the hand writes on the wall. Okay. Therefore, stretch out my hand against thee and destroy thee. I am weary with repenting. Okay. It's not, the people aren't repenting, but God, and occasionally in the Bible it mentions this, it actually says this, that he repents of the punishment he gave to the people. Okay, and he starts over. That happened with the flood. I believe. Yeah. But now, your patience really wears thin after a while. And our patience, doesn't our patience wear thin, with stuff? I am weary with repenting. I'm done with you guys, and I will fan them with a fan in the gates of the land. Fan them with a fan. Okay, this is the winnowing process. When you've got grain, you pitch the grain up in the air, and you get a fan or the breeze, and you blow the chaff, which is lighter than the grain, and it blows the chaff off of the away from the grain. Well, that's what he's doing here. He's winnowing the chaff and the from the good stuff, and there, this time there isn't that much good stuff left. There's mostly chaff. Yes, sir.
I'm a little confused with that,
Okay.
because it says nothing about shaft. I wonder how they got
I mean-
will fan them.
Oh, yeah. Well, the the farmers there,
I gotta look this up.
yeah, the wheat farmers and would know about that.
Grain farmer.
The grain farmers would know about fanning, you know, how you and you've seen, you know, stuff on, you know, National Geographic Channel or stuff where, where they throw up the get a shovel, throw it up and fan it.
That's why a lot of them had their, when they did the process of wheat, they had them on heels, where the wind comes in.
Yeah. Yeah, the wind would either take care of it or fan it. That's the idea here.
The Bible uses the word winnow,
Hmm?
With what?
winnow, W-I-N-N-O-W.
Same thing.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Yeah,
Oh,
winnowing. So he is winnowing them, the citizens of Jerusalem, with a fan in the gates of the land. I will bereave them of children. Okay, this bereave. I had to look this one up too. It's to deprive of life or hope or a sense of purpose. Bereave. You know, they're going to be grief stricken. The mothers are going to be grief stricken because of the loss of you know, the hope of having children. Remember, it was a major disgrace, if you will, for a shame for a Hebrew mother to be childless. Okay, and that was a disgrace, and they were bereaved. They'd lost their sense of purpose of children. I will destroy my people